Hello everyone, this is going to be a very quick video tutorial just to get you up and running and show you how to get started with our new API, okay? So we're going to be using a desktop client called Postman just to show you how to make calls to the API. But this is just a demonstration. You can utilize this API in any way you want, so you can use it to build your own Netflix, your mobile app, smart TV app, JavaScript application, Angular app, anything that you want, okay? So let's just go ahead. I'm just going to go into our application. Okay, now once you're in an application, under your profile, this is where you can set up some API keys, okay, so access keys. So you can see there's no access keys created at the moment. We're going to create one. I'm going to give this all access and we're not going to lock it down to an IP, okay? So let's just quickly give it all access. And once you've got your key, you can simply copy the key, okay, and then you come over to Postman. Under authorization, you need to put in the key value, which is x-api-key, put in your value, and then we can start to make calls, okay? So v1 players, this is how we get all our players. Okay, so you can see we're listing our players here. We've got one player set up. So let's say if we wanted to create another player, we can come in, create a player. We'll call this API tutorial. Let's use that for the short description. Content type, we're not going to be doing live streaming, we're just going to be movie. Advertisement, we can leave all the others blank, and we can create our player, okay? So then if we go back and make another call to the API, you can see we've got a total of 2 players. So we can use this for page navigation if we were building a large OTT streaming site. So you can see we've got our API tutorial here. Okay, now one thing we want to note is once you add assets to the API via your player. Okay, so if we go into our player, okay, now we could add images. Let's just go ahead and add a direct image. Okay, and references means if you've got lots of different images and you want to reference a specific one, then you can start to change references here. They make more sense when you get into a lot more complicated setups. But again, if we go to images, you see here, then we're going to start to get back the images for our player. And then we have categories, so we have taxonomies. You can create lots of different taxonomies. We use tag to make comparisons similar to Netflix, so you can pull back videos based on the number of matching tags. And we've also got persons for credits. Now media is one where you're going to be adding all your media. Okay, so this is where you add your video files. So I'm just going to grab a direct link from Vimeo. So if you go over to Vimeo and you go to distribution, and then if you take a look at video file links, and what we can do is we can just copy the HTTP streaming link and head back to our site. And then if we go to media here, we can add our media. It's a video file, we're not doing audio, reference. And what we do is we go off and we grab all the information, the MIME type. You can edit all this, grab the duration, and there's lots of other things you can do if you edit. So you can add bitrate, frames per second, advertisements. But you can have multiple sets of media associated with one player call, okay? So this is useful if we had different references. We could, I mean, there's many different ways that you could use this, but one way you could use it is to have references based on region. So this could be just for the UK, okay, and you can start to reference this out and pull in different videos based on your API calls, okay, so this becomes very flexible. Now tracks are almost every track that's associated with your media. So just as an example, so if you wanted to add chapters using something like video.js, you can come in here. You want to add a text track, it's VTT format. It's going to be chapters, and the language is English. Okay, so we've added our captions there. And another example of tracks is if you wanted to do subtitles. So if we wanted to add a subtitle track, we could come in here. Again, it's a text track. We can leave that en, and then for language, we could do something like France, and we need to make sure it's set to subtitles. Okay, so we've added our text track, and we could also come in and add a BIF image, which allows us to fast scrub through videos. So again, it can be a text track, and then a trick play, and then we can add that there. So as you can see, we're building up this really complex API solution for media. So if we run a search, refresh, you can see that what we do, okay, that's good to know, we don't pull the content back in all the player calls. We need to call a single player. So to call a single player, we can simply call it by its code. Okay, and then we have everything encapsulated in a content section. So under content you have all your media, okay, 2 tracks we added, and then all our tracks. Okay, so you can see from this, if you're using video.js, JW player, BitMovin, it's super flexible. You can use any player with this to call your data. We've also got tokens, and we actually connect up to Amazon S3 and utilize their full media elemental suite to be able to encode videos to HLS with proxy, DRM, and thumbnails. Loads of really great solutions with AWS, but we also allow you to just add your media directly through direct URLs to save costs if you're just going to be using Vimeo as a service, for instance. Now, one thing to note is you want to head over to the API docs. Then if you go to documentation, then here we will list all the different calls that you can make. Okay, so you can call your different media, you can call your taxonomies. We can get all the media, all the players based on a specific taxonomy, like a term. Okay, so we need to update some of this documentation, but that will be updated. But for instance, just as an example, if we added this to a genre, for action, you can see it's got a term ID of 163. Then we could call all our players based on that taxonomy. So you can get all your players based on categories, taxonomies, tags. Everything is encapsulated within this API. Okay, so any questions, just fire us an email to support. But we would love any questions based on this API. But this is just a quick video just to get you up and running. Thanks.